Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for this rendition of the Financial Wellness in the Workplace mini session, which is a prelude to our July session coming up in a couple of short months. We are here at the United Way of Elkhart and LaGrange County offices, hosting with Barb Cowles, who is the Key at Work Relationship Manager for Northern Indiana. And we are going to be talking about financial wellness in the workplace and how employee retention begins with a financially healthy workforce. We are first going to talk about the 5 different elements of wellness and get to know a little bit more about each of them.
When we talk about well-being holistically, we're really talking about 5 main elements. Those are loving what we do each day and taking joy in our work, having quality, authentic relationships with people around us, the security and well-being of our finances, the vibrancy of our physical health, and taking pride in what we contribute to our communities. Of course, the most important thing to consider is really how these elements all work together and interact.
Today we'll be talking about the 5 keys to financial wellness in the workplace. Beginning, we'll be hearing from Robert Weed about the look of financial wellness in the workplace. Second, we'll be hearing about the future of workplace financial wellness as described by 2 high school seniors graduating this year after going through financial literacy classes and learning a little bit more. Next, we'll hear about the employer's commitment to their workforce and how they can help their employees' finances to grow in a way that is not monetary but educational. Then we will hear from a personal trainer and life coach all about health and personal growth and how this as well plays a part in financial wellness as a whole. Finally, we'll hear about the strategic collaborations for community wellness and how you can stay active in your community to increase employee retention. And here to discuss our very first topic, the look of financial wellness in the workplace, are 2 employees from Robert Weed.
So, well-being in our culture. A lot of what we have done is, we recognize that employees they thrive and do their best when they feel like they are part of what we're doing, when they're part of the bigger picture. We've been working on a culture change in the organization and are pleased with a lot of the positive responses that we're getting from people. Everyone seems really excited, especially during this time. As they've been coming back to work, we've been able to share all the initiatives that we've been working on and the success stories behind them. As far as career and the well-being realm, we are really working on developing our employees and helping them basically kind of choose their path and helping them achieve their goals and grow within the organization. Many of our leadership have come from the floor. They started in their either department they work in or in another department. We actually have one of our sales guys who started out in the warehouse 30 years ago. And then we started doing a lot of one-on-ones, or what some people know as the O3, to give them an opportunity to discuss their development path and their career here. With the social aspect of it, we always encourage people to have that friend at work that always kind of helps relieve stress. And having a friendship, something that you can rely on, kind of helps get through the day. If you're having a tough time or just need to talk to someone or share a happy story with, that always seems to kind of help. And they seem to be really positive, and it helps them with their day and in their job. The financial, and Barb has been a huge part of this with the financial classes. We've started doing those a few years ago now. I think the end of 2017 is when we piloted that with our premier team, and it's really taken off. And we have a lot of success stories out of that, myself being one of them, and a lot of employees who really benefited from that. And we want to continue that education for our people so that they can be prepared, especially in times like these. I had a few come up and say, because they took this class and they, with the layoff and everything, they were actually prepared and didn't feel like they were going to be hurting for a certain amount of time, especially a lot of people were waiting on that unemployment to kick in. And so because of the class, some of them are felt prepared and they felt a little more secure than what they would have otherwise. We also we have a wellness program here, and we also incentivize employees who take the class. And so they can use that with their FSA, which kind of helps with their medical expenses, and then encourages them to take charge of their physical well-being, which is next. And so we have a couple of different challenges that we do throughout the year. We encourage people to do the Walktober or Maintain, Don't Gain. We also offer incentives towards those types of programs. We also introduced a clinic to our employees. We have an on-site clinic, and that happened last January. We opened that up. And so a couple days a week, we have a nurse practitioner here, and people can come and visit her during certain hours. And they are available to do that as day one of their employment. So they don't have to wait for their insurance to kick in if they need to see somebody. For us community, we understand, it's important that people feel safe and they, in the community they work and they live in. We do a lot in the community with the food pantry, and we worked with away on different projects. We have every fall we pick a couple of yards in the neighborhood of some local residents who aren't able to rake leaves, and we go over there and we rake their leaves for them. And we also do the Toys for Tots. You guys have ever seen the drop in the morning? We have a guy who dresses up like Santa Claus, and we have the truck out there. And so that's always been a really big thing for us. That's it.
Good morning. My name is Jasmine Jones. I am a student and a graduating senior at the drag program of Elkhart Central.
Good morning. My name is Alexis Jones. I'm a graduating senior of the drag program at Elkhart Central.
When Miss Cowles came to talk to our class, I'm like, I don't know how to save money.
I feel like when you're my age, you don't really think about the importance of, money. We just think, we have money, then we're good. But I feel like there's much more to having money, because you need to think about the importance, like budgeting. You need to think about what you do and don't need and how to save.
And so she was like, well, you're going off to college. How are you going to pay for this? How are you going to pay for that? How are you going to pay for this? And it was just like, how am I going to pay for it?
But if you're budgeting and you spend your money wisely, then you'll have money for a long time. It's not like you'll just get whatever and run out, because I feel that's what kids these days do. We kind of just get money and then we're like, we want this, we get it, and that's it. Me personally, I cashed my check at a gas station and didn't think much about it. But after learning about having a bank account can be successful for me, you get benefits depending on what bank you go through. Each bank has its own kind of benefits.
So ever since then, I've been trying to save. Like, I have a job in healthcare. So when I get my check, I put 100 to the side. And so far, it's great, because I could really use the money when I get to college, because everything is expensive.
Kids these days don't really know much about it. And this class really just helped me personally, because I didn't know much about being successful with money. I just kind of was like, okay, I have money, I can get what I want now and just be done. But when you want to start a life, you need to know things about money and how you should and shouldn't spend it, and things that you should and shouldn't do. And the financial wellness class really helps me.
And basically, that's just my take on it. You just need to save money in order to have money later on in life when you really need it.
Now we'll hear about the future of workplace financial wellness and the employer's commitment from Key Bank's Barb Cowles.
Oh, I just love those girls. Before we get started on what financial wellness looks like in the workplace, I would like to share a little bit about Jasmine. So Jasmine does have a job in healthcare currently. She really listened and absorbed everything that I had shared with her in January when we talked about student loan debt, what that looks like after somebody graduates from college. So I recently had a discussion with her and I asked her how it was going. Are you signed up for your classes? What's going on? And she said that she had gotten all of her FAFSA. She applied for all of her grants, her student loans, scholarships, forgivable government loans, and non-forgivable government loans. And she told me when she graduates in 2 years from Vincennes University with a registered nurse degree, she will only have $11,000 in student loan debt, where most registered nurses graduate with that same degree and have $60,000 to $70,000 in student loan debt. So I am thrilled for her. And Jennifer, I cannot wait until July when you can share some other stories about your students. It has just been incredible to be able to touch future employees, because they are the future and we need to educate them. There was a 2017 Price Waterhouse survey that revealed that 78% of American workers spend at least 3 hours per week working on their finances while they're on your time clock. So fire hose in one hand, fire extinguisher in the other, and they're not producing, labor. So let's break that down and take a look at what it may look like to a local company with 300 employees. So 78% would be 234 employees. Times 3 hours a week, that's 702 hours. Let's take an average hourly pay of $15 an hour. Now we know in Elkhart County, there's some that are making less, there's some that are making more. But if we take $15 an hour, that company is paying out in unproductive labor $10,530 a week. If you times that out through the whole year, it is just under $548,000. So my question would be, if we were able to sprinkle your employees with a little bit of financial education every couple weeks, once a month, what would that look like at the end of the year to your balance sheet of your company? What would it look like to the profit and loss statement? What would it look like to the attitude of the employees and their willingness to want to come to work? So that's just a simple question that I wanted to, just kind of put out there to put it in perspective. What are the numbers? So because I'm an I personality, I took it upon myself to survey some local companies. Some of you that are on the call know which survey I'm talking about. So I picked 6 of the many surveys that I had done. 6 different industries, 6 different pay grades across 3 counties, Elkhart, Kosciuszko, and St. Joe County. So in total, I surveyed 456 local employees. 71% of that 456 registered that they would either like to know more about money and financing, or they were in desperate need of help. So let's take Elkhart County for an example. We have hundreds of thousands of workers. If 71%, which is the trend, are in need of financial literacy, then it's time to see how we can make it work in the environment. I have one company in particular, in that survey, 238 of their 2,300 employees, so basically I surveyed 10% of the company. The trend never changed, you guys. Financial literacy knows no economic boundaries. The trend was the same whether I was surveying laborers, upper management, or executives. So, I'm fortunate as an employee of Key Bank. I run a program for Northern Indiana to where I actually get to live out one of my greatest passions every day, and that's helping people that aren't necessarily in a position to help themselves. I've witnessed firsthand employees that struggle with the simplest aspects of financial wellness, employees making good wages, but they're just not making the right decisions. And you know what I've learned is that we don't know what we don't know. So if we're not giving them some education on what is right and what is wrong, they just don't know. Alexis talked about cashing checks at a gas station. I know for a fact that a lot of your employees do that. Using pay cards with high fees. These are the people that they're paying all these fees to manage their money, and they're the ones that need their money the most. Getting payday loans, which is basically borrowing on your next paycheck. That's never good. Buying cars that buy here, pay here for just incredibly high interest rates. And over the past 5 years, I have seen a very high level of lack of financial literacy, primarily in those that are under the age of 50. So unless you or your employee had a parent or mentor that taught them about financial education, they don't know. Or unless you're someone like me that was self-taught. My parents owned a business in town. My mom did the books for years. They never taught me about money. I had to learn by trial and error and figure it out myself. It would have been nice to have some help. So, and one thing that I do want to share on a Robert Weed employee is that we had one of the employees, he said, you know what? He goes, I've been tracking my expenses. I've been doing what you say. My credit score has increased over 100 points in 9 months. I mean, those are the types of stories that are coming out of when we just give our employees a little taste, a little hand up. So
next we have personal trainer and life coach Christy Mishler here to talk with us about health and personal growth and the role it plays in wellness.
From worldminded.com, the definition of personal growth is the ongoing process of understanding and developing oneself in order to achieve one's fullest potential. Personal development is a vital part in a person's growth, maturity, success, and happiness. It is the foundation of emotional, physical, intellectual, and spiritual health. How I feel that personal growth has been affected by COVID, I pray that it's a wake-up call. And as a fitness professional and health coach, I have seen so much that has happened. For instance, from what I've seen, it's amplified the things we should have already been working on for our health and personal growth. How we handle anxiety, not being in control, change, by self-medicating more, being in a total state of stress, and not taking care of ourselves. I've seen this so much and have so many clients that are reaching out even more because they don't know what to do. So the importance is obvious, and most of us get this wrong. We get so focused on outward appearances, comparing, striving, and focusing sometimes for, so many people obviously come to me because they want to lose weight, and their focus is what the scale says, and focusing so much on outward appearances. And the scale just is a number and tells us what we already know. We're not taking the time to just pause and figure out what the heck we're even doing, why we're doing it, or not doing it. We all act sometimes like we're going to live forever until something major happens to get our attention. Are things that keep us stuck from making changes, such as being overcommitted, negative self-talk, saying that you don't have time for exercising, too many things to work on and not knowing where to start, too focused on what is not working and what you can't do instead of what you can do and what is working. And a lot of us have that mentality of it's either all or nothing. And so I'll be giving solutions to those things to stop putting Band-Aids on to try to fix what's keeping us stuck. Because a lot of times when we get angry, we get insecure, we get frustrated, we get stressed out, we just keep burying it and not dealing with it because we're so busy. And so we just, that's when self medication comes in. We're scrolling on Instagram or Facebook or having an extra glass of wine at night or whatever it is, because we don't have time to think about what really is going on. And one of the big important things is knowing your why when you want to change something, knowing your why and why you want to change it. Because I've seen so many people want to change something because they think that they should. And my mom used to always say, don't shoulda all over yourself. And you're doing it for somebody else. But if your why is big enough for the thing that you want to change, then when things get tough, and they will, when you go back to your why and it's strong enough, that will keep you going and keep you motivated. And then I'll just end with, if you want something to change, something has to change. And if you want to be better, you have to do better.
To wrap up today's session, we have Erin McNeil and Ashley Bowen from United Way to talk about strategic collaborations for community wellness.
So one of the things we have seen quite a bit, especially with younger employees entering the workforce in larger numbers, is really the interest in volunteering and looking to employers to be that connection for people to get involved in the community. How can we be a part of things? How can we do that here together as team building? So they're looking to you for that. I'm sure you've seen some of that already. Not only do you see that in younger employees, but you also probably see that more in people who aren't maybe from the area and are looking to get involved and be a part of the community. So what does the community look like, and how can you help me be a resource to be a part of this community so I can feel involved and get to know where I live and be part of this. One of the other great things we've heard Barb and our friends at Robert Weed say that we really love and have stolen from them as much as we can is the phrase partnering hard. So we love that phrase. They say they partner hard, and we love to partner hard. So you may not think of United Way as being part of financial literacy classes, but we've been involved in that conversation, which we're really grateful for, because it is part of our mission to make sure that people are more financially stable. And we don't want to just come out every year and talk to people about giving money. We want to make sure that they are getting what they need as well, and that they are living better lives. So you all can be great gatekeepers for us to get involved and say, we don't want to just ask people for money, but we also want to say, what are the needs? What's going on in your community? What's going on with people? Where do you need help? And how can we look at old problems in new ways and try to solve them? So we love to be partners and partner hard with you all. So have us in unlikely conversations. We really like that and appreciate that, because we also are, we know, sometimes a connector for other agencies. So when we hear people like Barb partnering hard with lots of companies, Robert, we'd have a new one we got involved with too. We want to say, let's spread that around. Let's tell other people what's out there so that everyone can benefit from it and be a part of growing their financial wellness and overall wellness. So I will let Ashley wrap it up in the last couple of minutes for you all.
So as Erin was talking about with partnering hard, we have been so fortunate to work with so many different organizations within the Elkhart and now LaGrange counties. And we've been able to partner hard with them. So what we do is we go in and we say, where are your needs? What do your employees need? Because part of making our community better is starting within the employers. And as you all know, that one relationship with one employee can create a bridge to prosperity for them. So we have two acronyms that we use: ALICE, Asset Limited Income Constrained Employed. That means basically the working poor. So you have all of these people who are working for you, and even though some of them are making $70 an hour in manufacturing, they are struggling, going paycheck to paycheck. They are experiencing the same problems as others are. And all that you need is a bridge for them to reach that financial literacy, which will affect all of the other areas of their well-being. So it's part of your corporate social responsibility to reach out to your employees, and the best way to affect your community and make a positive difference is right there through your employees, the people who are residents of the town. And especially what we've been seeing right now with COVID is all of these people who are saying, I don't know what to do. My wages have been cut. I've been furloughed, all sorts of financial problems. And we have seen so much in the KeyBank financial wellness system. What they do is they help you with tracking your expenses, budgeting, getting people on a track to home buying, discussing retirement. And it is a no-cost program that is offered to you regardless of your banking institution. So this program is offered because KeyBank wants our companies to be better. So we are so proud as United Way to be able to bring everybody together today and talk a little bit about this. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. And I can't wait to see you in July. Bring a friend.